What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Hot Mike on the Pulp Report, where we have the hottest up-and-coming folks from the worlds of movies and TV. With me, you see her already for our first episode, is Alexis Abrams. Alexis, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just got out of rehearsal. What's going on with you?
I'm waiting to talk to you, so that's good. You were just in rehearsal. That's very on brand for what we're trying to do here, so that's exciting. We'll talk about all that, but do want to let you guys all know to make sure to follow us for as we continue this and meet with great people like Alexis. You can find us on Twitter at The Irrelevant Op and on Facebook at Pulp Report. So, Alexis, you're out in LA. I'm here on the East Coast talking to you. But get right into it. Where was this rehearsal? What were you doing? What are you up to these days? I mean, what's life like out in Hollywood trying to break into the industry?
Life is crazy out here. Currently, I'm attending the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and so I'm rehearsing for my graduation play, so that I'm finishing up soon, and it's our final presentation, and it's going really well. We're excited. School's kind of crazy, but it's coming to an end, so that's good. And then we just go and try to start our careers.
You know, no big deal. Just start your career once you get the graduation.
Yeah, they just kicked us out.
Yeah, easy does it, right? This is though, you mentioned your school, and for those who may not know, I mean, if you know the industry, you've heard of this place, but the alumni that have come out of this institution, there are some heavy-hitting names, so you are in the right place, I would imagine, for doing what you want to do.
It's an amazing program. I mean, all of the teachers also are in the industry right now, and they're auditioning and they're working. And they've taught such amazing people. And sometimes, we get some insider stories about them. And just, they're all so amazing to work with. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I had to look it up, and I wrote down some of my favorites. I mean, Robert Redford, Anne Hathaway, Danny DeVito, Don Rickles, the recently passed, Paul Rudd, my personal favorite actor of all time. I mean, these are some heavy shoes that you have to be stepping into, but I'm sure that's the reason you go to a place like that, right?
That's correct. Yes, I came here for that reason. Their alumni is so amazing.
So what is it? Are you just school exclusively, or do you still have the opportunity to maybe audition for other projects on the side? What else? What's your plate like? How much is on your plate from school and other stuff? Give us sort of a week or a month in the life of Alexis.
My plate is very full. During school, we're not allowed to audition outside of school, at least with my program, because they want us to be fully ready before we go out and start making our first impressions, which makes sense. And so we're training all the time. I mean, 5 days a week for like 4 to 6 hours a day. And we learn a new dance a week and new accents every week. And we're doing scene work every day. And it's so intense, but it's so amazing. So it's fine. And then when I do that, I come home and there's, homework and scene studies and just working on my character. It's a lot of work and a lot of research, but it's all worth it because everything comes out amazing.
Well, what's that like? Because I think most people who are not in the industry don't know what acting school is like or drama school is like. You mentioned homework. Homework for most of us was you come home, read the chapter about the Battle of Lexington and Concord, and write an essay about, Paul Revere or whatever. But for acting, I'm sure it's very different. So how do you learn acting? What's a class like? What is homework? Put us in that world a little bit.
How do you learn acting?
Or at least how do they teach it to you, I guess?
Mostly through scene work. So they'll kind of just give us a script and tell us to go up and do it. And then we do it and we get notes and just little tricks to help us get into the character and understand where they're coming from and analyzing the entire script. So if you're only doing one scene, you have to read the whole thing to really understand the character. So they have you do that. And a few teachers at the school have you write 50-page biographies about your character.
Wow.
It's pretty intense. I had to do one of those, and it was exhausting, but I got a lot out of it.
I would imagine. I mean, there's always sort of that thing where, if you're an actor, you have to build this story and this lifestyle for your character, right? But 50 pages of biography seems a little excessive, no?
I mean, it was worth it. It was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot. But that was also one of the weeks where my homework was to watch a movie, which is awesome because I don't think many other kind of schools have that as homework.
No, very rare. And you say that to a lot of people in maybe biomechanical engineering or something, and they'll be very jealous of being able to have that kind of homework. So talk to, I mean, you're from Connecticut. You made the decision to go out to LA for school and to be, I'm sure, near the Hollywood scene and just orbit sort of the center of the acting universe. How much is reality versus perception where you see a movie like, say, La La Land, right? And you see Emma Stone kind of struggling and going through all this. And there have been countless TV shows and movies depicting the struggle of the person trying to make it like you are now in real life. How much of what someone like me sees on TV or the movies is true? How much is not? What's it like actually out there these days?
It's a struggle out here.
So that hasn't changed. So that is real.
That's completely real because almost everybody in Los Angeles has come here to be in the entertainment industry. But it's also really cool because everybody you meet, you can talk to about that, and we're all doing different aspects. Like you'll meet directors just in an Uber, and so that's really amazing. And so I think a lot of the struggle is real because, we're working part-time jobs and trying to find times to audition and trying to meet people. And I mean, we're always so busy because it's not just a 9-to-5 job that you can go and then go home and do whatever you have to do. We're always on it and trying to get new work.
It's funny because when I would go out to LA for business meetings and things, years ago, same thing. Sometimes my Uber driver would be a screenplay writer or, someone that's trying to see if I'm someone who could help them out. And it's just always, it's connections and it's networking. And I imagine it's a little tiring sometimes, but it is what you have to do, right? That's kind of probably the number one most important thing, I would imagine.
Oh, yes. I met somebody, I forgot where, but he takes production stills for really big movies. And he said, sometimes when I need just somebody to stand in and be an extra, I'll just text somebody that I know. So it really is about who you know sometimes, because if he doesn't know you, he can't text you to come in. And then sometimes you'll be bumped up from just a background role to maybe you'll get a line or two. And so it's such a huge part of this business. And it's crazy, but it's what has to happen.
So some things, I guess, do never change for the 100 years of Hollywood. It is very much who you know, like a lot of industries, I would say. It's very similar that way. So talk to me about trying to stand out then. Obviously, success is part who you know, who you can get your material in front of. But for you, what makes you, Alexis, stand out as a performer, as a personality, as a person, where if you're going into an audition or a casting call with 100 other young women, what makes you stand out? What do you think is going to be your key, your success to making it out there?
My big key, I guess, is that I am empathetic to a fault. It is ridiculous. So I can get into characters very easily and I empathize with them so quickly. If you could feel that right away, it is so helpful and so amazing. But it's almost a problem because I sometimes can't get out of that. And I'm like, but this person is struggling so much.
Well, that's you may be all writing 50-page bios for every character moving forward if you're that empathetic. But I would imagine it's better to be that than the opposite. It's better to be overly empathetic than to have no connection to characters at all. I would assume it's better to have your quote-unquote problem, right?
My quote-unquote problem. Yes, because if you can't understand a person, well, then you're not going to be able to play them and to discover, what makes them tick and what makes them say this or do this thing. So I think it's good to be able to really just get in there and get it.
So what kind of roles do you love just getting in there and getting? If I were to come to you tomorrow with a script and say, Alexis, this made me think of you right away, like what would be your ideal production or role to jump into and really make your name with?
I play a lot of really vulnerable roles because of who I am. And I think that it's amazing because they often show somebody struggling and overcoming the struggle. And I think that can inspire so many people. And that's why I do this. I want to inspire people, to make changes or to keep going. And so I love those roles, not only because I love playing them, but because of what they do to other people.
Is that what kind of made you get into acting? Talk a little bit more about that, because it sounds like that's where you really get your passion, is the feeling of being in this skin, but also how it affects other people. Maybe I'm totally off, but what made you get into all this?
You're not off at all. I don't know how I started acting, because when I was really young, I would say like 3 or 4, I found myself not playing with Barbie dolls, but doing like monologues in the mirror. Of course, at the time, I didn't know they were monologues, and my parents thought that I was insane. But that was kind of how it started, and then I realized that there was a word for it, and it's acting. And so I was begging my parents to put me into, acting classes at the firehouse in my town, because I'm from a really small town. And I did, and I loved it. And then as I grew older, I wanted to help people, and I didn't really know how. But then I realized that you can do that through acting, because, I mean, it could completely change somebody's perspective on the world or their life. And so I just kind of stuck with it.
And to this day, still going through and doing, everything you need to and that you can to make that obviously happen. Let me ask you about the internet, because it's something I'm sure you have to deal with a lot, especially in trying to make this dream of yours come true. 20, 30 years ago, the web didn't exist the way we know it now. Much tougher for people to make their own stuff or show up. But now you have this opportunity, potentially, to put a lot more of your work out there, put yourself out there, do interviews like this very one where people get to see you and learn more about you. That being said, everyone else has that same opportunity, and there's so much out there. It's not a lake anymore. You're a fish now trying to be discovered in an ocean. Do you think that doing what you're doing today, 2017, with the web, with everyone kind of in your area, knowing the tricks and the tips and what they have to do, is it a blessing or a curse, you think, trying to become what you're trying to become today?
I think it could be either. I think that it's amazing that you can make your own content, even with friends. You could hit up your friends and be like, hey, let's make a movie and put it on the internet. I think that that's really cool, because they can get you out there, and you could do whatever you want to do, and I think that's amazing. But as you said, to break into the industry, it is harder because everybody is doing that. But it's fine. I mean, that's the nature of the business.
It is. With the business, too, and we got to let you go here in a little bit because you are extremely busy and you have a career to get on track. What would you say maybe it is that part of it where you're competing with so many people in so many platforms? Give me the thing you hate and the thing you love most about Hollywood as you're learning it now from the ground up.
I don't think that competing with people is something that I hate, because I think that we're artists at the end of the day, and we want to work together to make great projects, and that's fine. That would be the thing that I love the most about Hollywood in this business, is just finding really good people who want to make great art and inspire people. And I say what I hate most about this business is the people who go against that, and they're in it, for personal benefit or for the fame and the fortune, and their heart's not really in it.
And it's frustrating. Those are the people that often get the roles or the opportunities that people that really do want it and deserve it maybe don't have that opportunity, right? It's like Murphy's Law kind of thing.
Drives me nuts, yes.
I've been there too, so I can empathize with you on that one for sure. So before we're going to finish up, I have an idea to end every interview asking folks the same set of 3 questions. But before we get to that, so what can we expect from you, Alexis? Obviously, graduation is coming up, and you're working on that final production, as you mentioned earlier. Then what's the hope? What's the goal for the rest of the year once graduation's over and the early parts of your career? What would be best case scenario? What can we be looking forward to from you?
I'm moving to New York for a little while after graduation, and so my hope is to find representation there and audition all I can and work on indie projects, which can be so amazing and so fun because you're working with people who are really passionate. And so hopefully you'll just be able to catch me in whatever I'm doing.
And hopefully it's a lot, indeed. Well, good luck on the move back, too. That's no easy thing either, coming back to this coast, but we wish you the best of luck. All right, we're going to end this with you, with Alexis, with the Pulp Pack. It's a 3-pack of questions that I plan on asking everyone, just seeing what different answers are like from different people. So question number 1, what's the first movie you ever remember seeing?
The first Harry Potter movie. That my grandma sent it to me for my birthday, and it was so cool.
Well, I mean, that's maybe, what was 2000, 2001? So you're making a lot of people watching this feel very old if that's the first movie you remember seeing, because that was this century, you know?
It's not the first one I've ever seen.
All right, we'll go with the first Harry Potter. How about question number 2? If you could work with any other actor or actress in a project, I came to you with this opportunity, say tomorrow, who would you most want to work alongside?
Oh God, there's so many amazing people. Eddie Redmayne. Yes, I have the biggest acting crush on Eddie Redmayne. He is so so talented. I would love to work with him.
He's great. And from what I've seen, I don't know the guy, but what I've seen on press junkets and late night TV shows, he seems like a cool guy in real life too. So that would be a good set for you on scene, I'm sure. Good choice. Last question. If you could live the life of any movie character, so a fictional character, and I can Freaky Friday you into this fictional universe, and you could be any character for 1 week. You get to live the life of someone in a movie for 1 week. Whose life would you like to take over?
Emma Stone's character, Skeeter, from The Help. She interviews The Help in the South, and she writes a book about them, and it changes the whole country, essentially, and it's amazing. And I think she has a big heart, and she's doing amazing things, and she's kind of cheeky about it, too, which I enjoy, so I think it would be Skeeter.
All right, there you go. Great answers. All right, well, Alexis, thank you so much for your time. Let people know where they can find you online on social media and where they can keep up with you as your career begins to blossom.
Yes, Instagram and Twitter at Alexis A. Abrams.
Awesome. Well, there you go. Alexis, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and best of luck. Keep us posted on how things go.
Thank you, of course.
All right, make sure to follow us on Twitter. It's The Irrelevant OP, and also on Facebook at Pulp Report. For Pulp Report and for Hot Mike, I'm Mike Janela. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, and we are looking forward to get to know you right here on the Pulp Report.